Beach Talk Radio. This is Beach Talk Radio.
I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should punch him in the face, and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 148. We're broadcasting live from Peach Time Out on the beautiful Fort Myers Beach. And we want to tell you about our sponsors. I'm going to explain the Open in just a little bit. And then our first guest, Patrick Romko, will be with us. A big shout out and a thank you to Island Oils LLC, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Margaritas, Wave of Vitality, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacations, La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, and Blue Ribbon Events. Also our newest sponsors, two brand new sponsors, Sanibel Carts and Beach Pottery. Thank you to everybody. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at beachtalkradionews.com. Coming up later on in the show, we're going to talk to Mary Torgerson and Dawn Thomas about the putt and pub crawl, which has turned into a pub crawl without the putt. And we're going to try and raise as much money as we can. And now I'd like to introduce to you the star of the show, the one who wakes up with fabulous hair every day of the week, no matter how much she sleeps with her head under the pillow. Here she is, the wife, the one and only Kimberly Rose Ryan.
Kimberly, that's not my middle name.
It's not?
That's okay.
What is your middle name?
It's Ann.
Oh, all right.
But
I didn't know that.
That's okay.
Whose middle name is Rose?
Our daughters.
All right. Well, see what happens when you get old. You forget all that kind of stuff.
Yes, and thank you for the hair mention, and a shout out to Jean at Salon Avant-Garde, who does a great job keeping the gray away.
Yeah. So yes, I do have a new set of headphones. I know you all noticed it out there. They were $19, so I didn't spend that much money, but I appreciate you noticing. Yeah, the big giant cans. I have big cans.
You look like
they call them cans in the business. I bet you didn't know that. Yeah,
you look like one of the Teletubbies.
So let me explain the beginning Open. I just wanted to, kind of point out the hypocrisy of everything going on in politics. I'm not saying that the stuff that happened in Washington at the Capitol was something that was okay, but there was just as many people on the Democratic side or the left side that were calling for violence back years and years ago, or days and days ago, or whatever it was, months and months ago. So, it's equal. I just wanted to make sure I played that, and also made sure I gave
balanced
You're
and fair.
You're
a flip-flopper.
Right. And I want to make sure I gave proper credit. I stole that from the New Agenda podcast. And if you haven't listened to it yet, and you're on our side of the fence or my side of the fence, she sits on the fence and her dad's on the other side of the fence. You want to download that and listen to it with Adam Curry and John D. Dvorak or D. Dvorak.
So I tried to listen to it.
Yeah.
I listened to it last night.
You loved it.
No. The clip that you said, listen to the first 13 minutes or whatever.
Jill says your hair looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Do one of these.
And
what do you
while
think
I was listening to it, they
Yeah.
were talking about, they were referencing some female And this is when I shut off. Oh, the blonde one, the blonde chick.
They don't usually do that. They're not chauvinistic like that. That must have been an unusual.
It was the brunette.
It must have been no, they're not really like that. And by the way, if you listen to the podcast, there is a meetup tomorrow in Naples that we're going to. I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah, we're going to. It's 11/11 tomorrow in Naples, where everybody that listens to the show in the area gets together, and they just there's no gaslighting or whatever you call that kind of stuff. That's the time. It's an inside thing, dear. If you don't listen to it, then you won't know.
I have that inside thing with somebody. The
you have an inside thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What is it? What's your inside thing?
It's just a thing between me and somebody else.
Is it a guy or a girl? Is it a man or a woman?
No, it's a girl.
Yeah, Sure, that's code for man, right? Is he a brunette or a blonde?
I'm gonna punch you in your nose.
All right. So Patrick Romko is going to join us now. Come on down, Patrick. He's been sitting there. He's on the Instagram now. First of all, everybody, what do you think of the background? Does the background look okay, or does it look too cheesy? Or do we need to just go back to where the fire extinguisher was in there? Look at that. If we go like this, it'll look like we're on a ride. Patrick, how are you, man? Thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good to hear you. Good time. Long time listener.
Yeah. Oh, what was your
turn the camera a little bit.
What was your night like last night? What'd you do?
Oh, well, we just came out here to the town square and
why are you so quiet like this now? You come in all guns are blazing, and now you sound like you're half asleep. What's going on with you?
My daughter's visiting, and so we took her out a little bit down here in the square, and it was a pretty late night.
Yeah.
We ended up,
Where did you
the beach on the way home?
Where did you go?
Well, actually, I always come down here. I start, usually go to Margaritas.
Yeah.
Stopped at the cigar hut for a cigar. My daughter's first cigar last night. So
is that place still open? Every time I go by it, it looks like it's closed.
Oh no, it's always open. Sometimes they have the door shut, so people think it's closed.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the cigar.
You're not?
What is yeah.
Well, did your daughter have a cigar?
Yeah, had her smoke her first cigar last night.
Wow. Oh, okay. So you post that on the Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty good. We ended up Steve over there is fantastic at the cigar hut. You can always stop in there and
that's
say
a
hi
free
to
ad.
the
He didn't
place.
pay for that, man.
Nope.
What you doing here?
Sorry,
Cut that crap out. People pay for ads like that here.
So if you're smoking a cigar, you don't inhale it.
You don't inhale a cigar.
Ah.
You don't.
All right.
Are they flavored?
Some are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's it's like
can they put fruit in there to make it healthy?
Well, I don't know about fruit, but they have fruit flavorings.
Oh, okay.
But they have it's almost like a coffee. So a cigar is like coffee.
Really?
So if you get the lighter
thought that.
cigar, it's going to be less harsh. So if you think of the bean and you just eat a bean, you'll have that strong, dark flavor.
All right, can we move on?
So,
that's not why we had you on here. So what else? You went to Margaritas. Where else did you go?
Digress, and then when I digress,
about cigars though, it bored me to death already. Jeez.
All the cigar people were just like, "Oh, I wanted to hear that thing about the creamer." But anyway, we went to Margaritas, came out, stopped over by Pete's, and then we headed over to Sunset. We did our little trio of things, visited
Sunset,
and then
what are you doing,
Barry
dear?
Lawrence was over there singing at Sunset. So
I love Barry Lawrence.
Yeah, he's they do a great job over there entertaining people. So.
Yeah. How many drinks did you have?
I only have about 4 or 5 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of beer do you drink?
I drink Yingling. Actually.
Can we get a Yingling, please?
It's all
Sarah,
right for you to digress, but
no, dear, we're doing a little man talk
I
here.
don't think
digressing for over a beer.
So Patrick is a local resident. You're also like an artist. Like you play here. You play.
Well, I play. I fill in for people. I have a small talent. I don't know how good I am, but I do play on the beach. I play guitar. So I've been playing for about 30 years.
I wish you would have brought your guitar with you. Do you have it on your bicycle or somewhere
I
out
walked
there?
here.
You walked here. All right. So how often are you playing and where can people catch you? And thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank
you,
like
Sarah.
I said, I usually just get the call in because I live close.
Yeah.
So I just have too many opportunities at work. It's where I can't get
your
here,
dad.
So.
Your dad says a rose between two thorns.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah. So, Mr. Breakfast. Yeah. Only on Fort Myers Beach, everybody. So, Patrick, one of the reasons I invited you on was because when I'm posting stories or when we're covering stories locally, you're involved and you're a bit mouthy. You get out there and you talk about things. So, why
do you say mouthy?
Well, I mean, he's outspoken.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's the same thing, dear.
It
Look
isn't,
it up. Google it.
No, it's not the same thing.
What is it?
I have an opinion.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. What is your fascination with local politics?
Well, I think it's unique to this town, the way they operate. being from up north, and I was involved with the Boy Scouts of America for a long time as Scoutmaster.
Sorry to hear that.
And I would go around in about 27 years, and it's
Wow.
pretty great. So we got about 8 Eagle Scouts out of my troop from that. So it was very, very, very.
What happened
rewarding.
to the Boy Scouts, man?
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
The problem with the Boy Scouts is, like, again, with almost anything in this country,
Get
I think
too big
these days, is that everyone wants a piece of the pie. So if somebody's feelings get hurt and they want to sue you, and I think lawsuits is really the big default of, they just can't afford their lawsuits anymore. So, because you know what, they have their organization is not run by the National Boy Scouts; it's run by volunteers. And how do they manage that?
What do you think of this weather down here?
I think it's cold. It's terrible.
It's not. It's a great day out today. A little bit windy.
I saw you on the pre-show this morning, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's warm outside because he's not wearing a sweater.
Yeah. Well, I'm inside. I got stuck inside, as you probably have heard. So back to your story about the fascination with local politics.
So first off, I'm a political science major from Western Illinois University. Shout out. And I've watched the degradation of politics in the last 20 years from a different lens. And the one thing I think people start to forget about is that rules are made for everybody, not just select few. So I started watching it. I've been to a couple meetings, and the first meeting I went to, they were talking about flower pots in the square, and they said that the meetings last about 8 hours. I thought it was going to be about an hour or two meeting, because every little town hall council meeting I've been in Illinois, they're usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. They do their business. They say what they need to say. They let the public speak, and then they go about their business. They're not sitting here worried about what tree goes in where, and then, penalizing businesses or people for that sake for trying to get something like the water off the street when it rains. Oh, well, that's a sewer problem. Then you got this and that. And to try to get anything accomplished there is just, it's really hard. So I've had some bad experiences there.
Like, what do you mean? Be specific.
Well, specifically, when I take the time, first things first is I work for a living. So I can't make it to the meetings because from 9 to 5 is most when people work. So one of my biggest pet peeves, I had a conversation with Ray Murphy when he was running. Everyone was saying, oh, vote for Ray. And I said, Ray, the one thing I think you need to do is get the meetings to turn it, them at night, 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So working people, not just retired people or people that don't have jobs, can attend your meetings, And he says, oh, I'm going to make sure that's on the agenda. We'll look at it. Well, it ain't on the agenda. They don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always
because
said
they have
that.
an 8-hour meeting. So of course, if they started at 6 o'clock, they ain't gonna, end till 3 o'clock.
I've always said that about the different municipalities that have meetings like that. It for a working person, it's totally impossible. Where we were from, Oneonta, they had council meetings at 7 o'clock at night, and everybody that wanted to go was able to go. But I have never witnessed an 8-hour meeting, although the meeting from this past Monday went from 9 to 2 or 3. It was a long ass meeting. So, but besides that, what is your, go ahead.
When you need an intermission, it's a long meeting.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you have to take a break to go to lunch, sorry, that's too long of a meeting. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? But listen, I digress. But more importantly, one of the biggest reasons about when I go to those meetings, I just don't feel comfortable there. I don't feel like, part of the team, I guess you'd say. And I felt more like watching the town hall meetings is more like a homeowners association meeting, where they talk more on their feelings and what would look pretty and what would not look pretty. And if you listen to a lot of them, they just debate back and forth about simple things, 10 minutes about a flower pot, or about how many parking spaces they're going to have. That shouldn't be a town council question. That should be a law in the books that they have to apply to. And then guess what? You either granted based on the law or you're not granted based on the law. And if you want a stipulation over that, then you have to file
special
exemption.
Let's talk about what happened on Monday regarding Publix.
Oh,
now,
wow, this place is hopping.
The homeless situation aside, I understand the homeless. There's a homeless issue up there, I guess, at Newton Park, and the homeowners up there were concerned that more liquor, they already sell beer and wine, would make the problem worse. But take that out of the equation, because I don't want to poo-poo that on with the people up there. If there's a problem, there's seriously a problem. But that's a different problem that needs to be addressed. But if they knew from the beginning that they were going to deny, it was clear to me that they were going to deny that
because they live there.
Unless not the people, the council.
No,
unless
because they all live on the south side. But they don't want it on the south side. They only want it on the north side.
But
it's okay for the homeless to be on the north side where I live. But God forbid we have them on the south side.
Stand by. Did you get the impression that they would okay the liquor store if they got a pharmacy? Did you get that impression? I was
totally under the impression that it was a quid pro quo event where, when the mayor, says, well, we need a pharmacy. And I mean, who does he to say that? And then it's just, to me, you can't barter in law. And you know what I mean? You can't barter with, oh, well, if you put in this, we'll give you that. That's a homeowners association. You know what I mean? Well, you can't have this fence, but if you put this type of fence in, we'll let you do it. It's quid pro quo, and you can't do that. And the city council, as soon as they heard that, I thought, this is obsolete. This shouldn't even be. Mm-hmm. It's either, yes, they get it because of the law and the legality to it, not because somebody's feelings will get hurt, because maybe a homeless person will walk into someone's yard. That happens to me all the time. I live right here. So, you know what I mean? I have cameras on my house because I live so close to 7-Eleven. You never know who's going to walk over and go to the bathroom or do whatever. So why is it okay on the north side but not the south side? But if you notice, they do that a lot. They make their rules for that. And but anyway, you can't make a rule or a law because someone's feelings are going to get hurt. And I think that's what it is. When you talk about the homeless situation, it's a feeling thing for that. It has nothing to do with give me statistics. Show me how many homeless people. Tell me where it's at. But until then, this is a business trying to get a license, trying to get approval for selling something that you can buy almost anywhere else on this beach. There's plenty of liquor stores on the north end, but no one cares about that. But you put one on the south end, or you put one in the middle of the island by the residents, and guess what? They don't want it. So if they don't want it, they tell Ray and all their friends.
Well, yeah, it definitely is more of a clique than it is a government. But do you think that the homeless drink more liquor than they do beer and wine? Is there some kind of study that says they can't go into Publix and buy a six pack of Schlitz malt liquor or Ripple or whatever the hell the homeless drink?
I think Ripple is.
Yeah, I think that's old school, but.
Well, I'm just saying,
it's gone.
They already sell that now. So what was the difference?
Well, here's what you have to understand: is first off, they don't have money to buy it.
Okay.
So they're either getting it for free, or they're down here on the north end panhandling for it. And listen, they ain't gonna drive or walk all the way to Publix from here because they got $10.
It's a better deal down there, Patrick. They're definitely walking down there.
They're going to walk to the closest liquor store they're going to find. And you can ask these guys that own the liquor stores here. They come in and they're buying these small little bottles. They ain't buying the big bottles. They're buying the little small ones.
Yeah.
Or they're buying the little fifths they put in their jacket. They're not walking around with 7 bottles of booze.
I hope Lalo knows that we're bringing some important ass people to this place right now. There's some important people sitting over there getting ready to come on this show. And there is a lot of people, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with the excitement of this broadcast.
Because they knew I was coming, right? No,
you bringing in a lot of guests here, man. Bringing in a lot of guests.
I'm not playing the guitar.
So go ahead, dear. You got a question for our fine guest here?
No, I was reading the.
So if you were to grade the local government, how would you, do you actually, let me ask you it this way. Do you think that Fort Myers Beach would have been better off with before incorporation, like without incorporating that they did?
So being a resident for only 3 years and a political science major, I had to ask that question because after hanging out, you hang out, you talk to people, and you get to know a lot of people down here if you have a personality. And helping out sitting at the cigar hut, you get to meet a lot of people. And then you start asking, well, why was it okay for them to do it this? And then why not this? And then why that? And then you talk to the residents who say it was easier to get a permit for something. It was easier to get their pavers put in their park driveway, any type of thing that they wanted as a type of permit. And business owners, it was easier because it was just cut black and white. Either when you applied for the extension or the license or for something, it was either black and white. There's no opinions on it because it's such a large corporation, Lee County, right? You bring it here to a smaller portion, and I heard the reason why they did it, so they wanted to have more control, but it doesn't mean it's more. They don't get to become a individual, systematic government. I wouldn't even call it a government. I think it's more of a homeowner association. That's not how I look at it.
Do you plan on running for office at some point?
That was my question.
Sorry, go on ahead.
No. I was going to say, if the times were different, would you run for town council or on one of the many advisory boards?
I would never go on the advisory board because it doesn't matter. Again, that's a feel-good situation.
Okay.
I think the advisory
you feel like
boards,
they don't have any.
Well, it's just everyone gets together to meet, but then at the end of the day, either Roger, Ray, or Roxanne, or Bill Veach, they're going to be like, nope, or that feels good, I'm going to vote for it. It has nothing to do. Like when we talk about, we were building that monstrosity between Nervous Nellies and Snug Harbor over there for the homeless people. Yeah, they all want the homeless people to live over there. They don't want them by my house. Roxanne, put it in your backyard. Go put the homeless shelter in your backyard.
Yeah.
But they got to get this place for people to shower and other stuff. Wait, time out. So that's a feel good thing. It's not, there's no purpose to the general public. It's a minority, and you can't always make law for minority. You have to make the law for the majority. And I just think that the local government being on the council needs to have a governance type of a mentality. It has to have that. So me being a political science major, and a lot of the friends and people that live here that on the island that I know, they're frustrated with it. They're going to run, and they're going to change the way it is. And it's just going to happen. And I think if you overload the ticket, which I tell people all the time, we'll just overload the ticket with people that think the same way. And guess what? Things will change.
Well, unfortunately, the voters approved a longer 4 years for each council member. It was so perfect the way it was before, where it was 2 staggered, something like that, or we might have been 3, but 4 now. And some of them, I think Ray and Roxanne have 3 left, and then the newbies get 4. And that's, they were claiming it was because, which cracked me up. They were claiming it was because every time there's turnover, and somebody wants to work with somebody on the beach, and then there's a new mayor and there's a new mayor. Well, the fact is that they don't elect a mayor down here. They just appoint their friend, or they nominate themselves, and they win 3-2, which is kind of crazy. It's back to what you were saying. It's really an HOA when you can nominate yourself and be the mayor by a 3-2 vote. It's comical. It's really comical. So it's going to be a long wait for somebody else to run right now. They're going to either have to get on a committee to get known, or they're just going to have to sit on the sidelines and wait until the next election.
Well, I'll tell you this. So someone said to me, well, you should run for, well, they say for mayor, but there's no run for mayor. You should run for council. And I said, well, and they're like, oh, the first thing they say is, well, you got to get on a committee first, and you got to do this and you got to do that. I'm like, stop. That's not how this works. Anybody can run.
Right.
Anybody can pay the $172, to get on the ballot. It's, you don't even need petitions these days. I mean, you can just pay the money. It's crazy how they do it here. But I just don't understand how the committees function. I can see some of the committees where they're talking about planning and budget, but maybe we need an oversight committee. Maybe we need a committee that actually manages the manager. Maybe we need an oversight committee that manages the town employees. It's the town council's job to manage the city manager. And it's the town council's job to make sure that the operations of the city are working for the people.
The manager in this town has way too much power. He's just, you got the sunshine laws that prevent the council members from really communicating with each other, which I think is the right thing. But that gives the town manager so much power. And then it's really him and whoever the mayor is in cahoots, not cahoots, but they really are working closely, and the mayor sets the agenda, and then the two of them are working out things. And then by the time the other council members get to the meeting, everything is pretty much set or done, or they just bypass the committee.
How would you have it? Like, how would you have it set up differently?
I think that well, obviously, I think there should be a different manager. I think that this manager is horrible.
But that aside,
I think there should be an elected mayor, and it should have been 3 years where there could be an election 3 years, and then next year or 2 years later, there's another election so that people are held accountable all the time. Why can the House of Representatives operate on 2 years and these guys on this beach need 4 years? That never made any sense to me.
But they got elected to the town council. I hear what you're saying, but the people did elect those folks that are sitting that have the option to be the mayor. They got elected by the people. So
there's nothing you can do now. What do you mean?
Well, you said it though, Ed. Though you made a comment that they don't want to have 3-year terms or 4-year terms because they wanted to have where people were on the same idea. For let's use the Margaritaville as an example. So you got mayor and 3 councilmen, and then 3 years later you got another mayor. They don't know anything. They don't know the agenda. So we're going to keep the mayor in. Like Ray, he's the mayor again and they're going to stay in longer because they think that, well, we're in touch with the community. We know what's going on. But if someone else comes in new, they won't be able to do it. No, maybe if someone else comes in new, they'll stop it because maybe someone else will see it with a different perspective. Maybe it won't be the perspective they want. So that's why the 6-year term on senators. That's why there's no term limits in Congress, because they want control.
Oh yeah, it's all about power. It's totally all about power. And once they get into power, it's a whole different thing, and they act differently, and they tell lies. Not every one of them, but I mean, just an example of, and I know he's not an elected person, but when it comes to the putt and pub crawl, and I'm not going to bring this up when Mary and Dawn come on, but Roger said that he's denying the permit because they did not attach. He told the newspaper, whatever the newspaper is down here now, not the Sandpaper, obviously, this other paper that nobody reads. He told the newspaper that the reason that it got denied was because they didn't include their COVID attachment, like their COVID regulations. And I saw the permit; it was page 11 of the application. So it was a total fabrication. So how do you get away with that? How do you get away with that lie? And how come he doesn't ever get held accountable to? It's the same thing with, bypassing the Bay Oaks committee, even though maybe that project is the right project. But why shouldn't you tell the Bay Oaks committee, those people are residents of this city, and they worked long and hard on things. They should be in the loop. I'm not saying their plan was the better plan. I wouldn't want to raise taxes for anything really, but they should have been in the loop on that. So how do you get away with that, Patrick?
Well, first off, he's got too much power. I mean, they gave him the power over this COVID thing, and they're letting him maintain that power. I was at the meeting once, and and they had asked, should we extend the power of authority to Roger? And I'm like, no, don't give them that much power again. They just keep continuing. My thought was either they don't want to do it and manage it, so they're just like, you know what, let's give it to him to manage because we don't want to manage it. We're gonna let that fall on Roger. But what I said when Jim and Dan and Bill and they all got on the council the last time, first thing I said to them was they need to have some sort of a independent study on the operations of this town. They don't know about Roger. They don't know about all the people on this island that have had problems with him. They have no idea about the conflicts or confrontations they had, or all the discriminatory practices that he's implied over his own personal agenda. He's never here.
When you do the research on what's going on with Terry Prasad at Sunset Grill, it's amazing at how they pulled the ability for him to sell alcohol on the beach out from underneath him with no. See, I'm not a lawyer, but to me, just reading the history of that situation, and then the whole situation with the supposed leak of the oil over there and the charges against him, it just seems like he was targeted on that. But speaking of targeting in Times Square, I mean, obviously, I'm convinced.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm convinced that their goal is to make sure that the businesses on Times Square go bankrupt.
Yeah,
and to me, the latest folly was when they came down here with their dB meters and they started measuring the noise of Pete's and of La Ola and then Margaritas. And how do you take a dB meter? You're a political science major, so I'm sure you took the dB course in your curriculum there.
I do play guitar.
When you're measuring the sound of the band, which is playing right here, do you ask everybody that's talking to stop? Do you ask the band next door to stop? Do you ask the cars to stop beeping? Do you ask the fish to stop swimming? How do you measure
to stop talking?
Right. How do you measure 100% accuracy that they're over by 4 dBs and you write them a ticket?
Well, before you get into that, you got to look at the legality behind this thing. And again, Roger is who we're talking about. He's got this force of the base, the blue shirt, we call them Smurfs, the enforcer group. Most of them all retired police officers in white, by the way, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But the fact of the matter is, though, that department is designed for revenue. So they're a revenue squad. That's what they do. They're not paid to clean up anything, which they could probably pay people to do that, but they're revenue squad. They go around and they ticket people 2 minutes after they expire, and then you got 5 days to pay the ticket. So let's get back to the basics of this, the beginning of it. That group, that department is a revenue squad. It's not here for the betterment of this island, right? I mean, everything they do is negative. They give tickets out for people that do violations of the things that they say is in violation of. Let's say the city ordinance, for example, or the town code they want to have for noise pollution.
Or the mask.
And they're going to stand in front of this 3 businesses. In only these 3 businesses is discriminatory. Every other island, every other business on this island should follow that same exact dB, decimal meter or whatever. If Publix is, you stand in front of Publix, it's 70, give them a ticket. If you're standing in front of Lani Kai and it's 70, give them a ticket. Go down to the south end. And if anybody, I mean, forget about, I heard the other day, they're saying, they face the Gulf, so they can put their music on as loud as they want. I walk out of my house, I walk to the beach, and I just want some tranquility. And literally, I can't even hear the waves on the ocean because the music at the cottage bar downstairs is full blast in banking, and you can hear it from a mile away. Why not over there? Because this is their gem. This is where they're going to try to make the money. So they're going to bankrupt their gem. They're not doing it to anybody else on the beach. So my problem with Roger.
Is there any, I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But is there any record that they have where they have gone to other places? I mean, do we know? Right.
Let's ask.
All right.
But no, they can't even. They're stationed here. They don't drive down that way. Then they would have to spend 2 hours in traffic getting back.
Well, I did
ask. Walk.
I did when I was doing the reresearch on these 3 down there. I did ask a couple of others, not too many of them. I did ask a couple of others, and they said no. But I'm not saying that
you asked a couple of
other businesses not in Times Square.
Right.
So
if they had
the
somebody standing in front of them with a decimal meter.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean they weren't doing it at some other location.
It's right. I come. Listen, I eat here. I'm a single man. I don't cook a lot, so I eat here. I walk here and eat. I spend most of my time. And anybody wants to have a conversation with me, come out here. You'll see.
Somebody's already voting for you. And he's not even a resident.
Murphy. I've asked him 1,000 times, meet me out. And he don't want to meet me out. But here, who I do get to see out? Dan comes out a lot and his wife.
Yeah.
I love Dan for doing that. Because then guess what? If you're out here, then you can make comments about it. But if you're not sitting here every day or coming here every day, you can't have that. There's one resident right here, and they're not complaining about it. So in the whole square, where I live 2 blocks from here, I can't hear it. I can't see how someone on Primo can hear it. Well, I don't get it. It's not facing that way. The music isn't going that way. The direction of the music isn't going that way.
This is my opinion. I don't have any solid fact on it. I think somebody on Primo is complaining, and they have a line on the bat phone to Roger's office.
There you go. Not only that, there's a personal agenda there too, right? Because they both know each other, right? Really well, I'm guessing. So it's another thing where you talk about, well,
no, you guys don't know.
Well,
right.
We don't know. We're speculating.
I said it's my speculation. Total and I didn't say any names.
There has to be I don't like this, so you better go do something about it type of thing.
What is the purpose of writing a ticket in an entertainment district? It's an entertainment district. Who is the music pissing off? I mean,
Money.
You can't hear it on Primo. Who is the music? Is there somebody?
Money.
Is there somebody else here on Times Square? Some resident walking by that's like, "Oh my God, they're playing karaoke! It's too loud."
You're gonna get a ticket right now because you're yelling.
Oh my God!
Do they? So they come here to measure it. They're not going to whoever is complaining to see if you can hear it or how loud
Oh,
it is.
we'll talk about that. So I was telling Ed when I first got here, it's like, so that would be the way they're doing it is saying, well, it's complaint driven. So we're going to go there and after we have a complaint. Okay, well, if I see Ed's driving too fast on Fort Myers Beach roads, I'm going to write down his license plate number. I'm going to call in and I'm going to say, this guy was driving too fast. You need to give him a ticket. It's the same thing. It's ridiculous. Go investigate the situation. Go stand in front of her house or his house, whoever it is, with the decimal meter and tell me what you can hear. And I guarantee a car door is going to be heard.
You know, she was breathing heavy the other night, and I put the dB meter right next to her, and it was off the charts, man. She would have got a summons.
Some of us do that with snoring too.
Well, yeah. I mean,
not true.
There's nothing perverted about breathing heavy. Don't you people out there are just sick. So don't think anything crazy.
I think everyone thought about that. It was
I know,
snoring.
but I just want to make it clear there was nothing going on.
Here's another thing you don't realize is that they're harassing in public. They are standing there pulling the owner or the manager away in public.
Right.
And humiliating them in front of all their
Total
customers.
humiliation.
And it is so nervous. I stand there as a citizen of this town and I watched just last night the blue shirt Smurf talking to him as the band's playing down here. He's standing in front of Margaritas with the sensor. The band's playing down there. It's total asinine.
Yeah, the sunset. Yeah,
total asinine. Sunset
right.
celebrations going on, and it's just terrible.
Patrick, you've already overstayed your time limit, which has been great. Okay, go right ahead, man.
So I want to say this. So Roger has a clause in his contract. You can't fire him, right? Because if you fire him, you still got to pay him. That's what I was told.
No, that you can't. No, I don't read it that way. You can get fired for cars or.
Oh no, he can get fired.
Okay, well, just to be
clear,
but
he still gets his pay through the duration of his contract.
Right.
So here's my suggestion.
I have a copy of it.
Two things I need to. If the town council is listening, they need to do two things. They need to put an independent survey out there, unlike with just the town, someone else that actually surveys all of your residents and your businesses against what the town does in this. Get the negatives, get the positives, get some type of information because they don't know it. And then the town council has the authority to manage the manager, and they're not doing that. They're just letting him do whatever he wants. But they have to do that. And I talked to Jim and I talked to Dan, and both of them agreed that that's what we need to do. We need to manage that. Well, here, let me give you the first operation. Can you go to work and then count the time you drive back and forth to work as your hours? No, but he can because he's got a cell phone with him. Well, I got my cell phone with him, but when I'm at work, I got to clock in and I got to put in 40, 50 hours a week at the facility. You don't do that. Make him do that and he'll quit. Make him come here. Forget about the 2-hour drive every day. Make him come here, sit in that office for 40 hours. And guess what?
Dude,
he will fail to do his job.
He's not quitting. He makes over $200,000 as the HOA president.
You put him here for 40 hours a week and he's got to do a 4-hour commute every day because he doesn't live here. He lives, Sarasota?
I don't think that's correct. I think he does
lives pretty far away, I heard.
I think he lives on the beach.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I heard him say he lives on the beach.
I had an issue once and I wanted to talk to him and I wanted to pay a bill and they wouldn't let me in the building because of the COVID thing. And this was after a while. And so I said, I want to talk to Roger about it. Well, he drives in and when he's driving in, he works from his phone. So that's how I know that information because I've heard that they told me that he's on his phone, that is on his trip in, he works on his phone. So I had that issue with the parking ticket violation. Someone, one of the Blue Smurfs came out, the supervisor of the Blue Smurfs came out and it costed me because I was just trying to pay my fine, a $25 fine, and put me in a threatening position. I did a report about him and I called Roger about it and I didn't think anything happened. Well, no, he came really close to push me off. And then they threatened to have me arrested for being on public property if I wouldn't leave. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm a taxpayer. All these homeless people are on public property.
That's the people's building.
Yeah. So why can't I be here? He's threatening fire. So
did you have a headgear on and a spear and your shirt off and all that?
No, I was literally, I didn't have anything in my hands.
All right.
So, but here, listen, at the end of the day, I asked Roger to document it and everything, and it's all on video because the video's out there.
Right.
So, but I haven't heard anything from it. So I just have an angst against that because of the way they operate. Anyway,
we got to have you back, man. We got to have you back just to talk about the local politics because I know, as you can see, she tries to stay neutral, and well, I do too.
You do not.
So, well, I was like that when I first got to this town, and then I start watching things, and I go to the meetings when I can because can't go to the meetings because they're not at night. So when I go to the meetings, or I get to watch the meetings via thanks to you guys, and I'm sneaking it in at work, but it's hard to try to be an active citizen in this town because a lot of people are just passive, which unfortunately our town council is too.
All right, Patrick Romko, everybody, big hand from the artificial audience. They're going crazy for you, and we hope to have you back real soon. Thanks a lot, man. Have a great weekend, and maybe we'll see you out later at the he's already slipping and sliding over there, dear. All right, go ahead, dear. Turn it around here. We got to set up our next few guests, but that's why I handed you that thing. Come on, get with the program. All right, there you go. Grab your Ed, and there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a second now. Gonna make sure we do this right. There you are. Go. It's not on. The mic's not on. Try it again. Oh, we tried. It didn't work. Here you go.
You're horrible with this.
There you go. All right.
Setup.
Go ahead.
All right, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, the best tiki tours around. You can go out on your little tiki boat, seat 6 people. They provide the cooler and the ice. They also provide the driver, the captain, because you have to have a Coast Guard certified captain. You could go out, you go through the bay. It's a nice, relaxing, entertaining ride through the bay and back. It's 90 minutes. You can go out for any event that you can think of. Family, we went out for Father's Day. We had a great time. Nobody went overboard. Despite all the comments, I should have probably pushed him over, but I didn't. You can go out for a girls' night out. You can go out for a guys' night out, weddings, birthdays, anniversary, bachelorette party. They're located over at Salty Sam's Marina. You just pop over there. They get you right on, but go to the bathroom first because there are no bathrooms on the tiki boats. You're going to feel like a Hollywood star because everybody's going to be taking your picture on that boat because it's extremely adorable. You can reach them at 239-887-0042 or FortMyersTikiTours.com. Make your reservation now and get out there and have a good time.
Lovely job, dear. And before we get to our second set of guests, I want to make sure I tell you about our newest sponsor, Beach Pottery. Yes, Elena and the gang down at Beach Pottery. They have over 1 acre of this. The microphone works now. The wireless microphone works. They have over 1 acre of pottery and art out in the back. There's always something new at Beach Pottery. And let's see, they had some brand new pots that came in. New shipment, 900 pieces, Holy Christmas. And they're from Vietnam. And they had a shipment from the Mexican, I can't read my own writing. The Mexican Talladegas. They got Mexican Talladega pottery. That's probably not true. And they also just finished some new wood carving pieces, and they got a shipment of home decor.
You talk about my reading.
I don't know what that is. What is Mexican Talgia? What is that? It's cool pottery, though. Look at all those pots. Large glazed planters, water fountains, Mexican pottery, local original art, chainsaw wood carving. It's Beach Pottery, ladies. And they're so awesome. 17980 San Carlos Boulevard, Fort Myers Beach.
It says they have outdoor weatherproof furniture. We need to take a look at that because we need some outdoor furniture.
All right. Thanks to the folks at Beach Pottery. They're super cool. Hey, what do you guys think of our new background? Can you see it there? Oh, Dawn's not in the picture, though. I got to switch cameras, Dawn. Don't worry. You're there. All right. Everybody's microphone is on. Go ahead, dear. Introduce our guests while I work the controls here.
So we have Mary and Dawn.
Yeah, that worked well. Go ahead.
And we're going to be talking about today's event.
Your event.
Yes.
Yes, our event.
Well, it's not.
There we go.
I guess it's.
There they are.
Whatever.
Look at that, everybody. Say hi to Mary and Dawn.
For it.
This is our camera here, and this is our background as if we were actually out in Times Square where we used to be until we broke the rules. And yes, we're having a pub crawl without the putt today to raise the money or as much as we can for the women's club and all the other organizations that you guys help. So let's talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. So relax, Dawn. You look nervous. Why you look nervous? Well,
I see. You
use
have
the microphone, Dawn.
Very good.
Use the microphone, Dawn.
She's so concentrating on her posture.
Yes. So
But she's going to just project her voice.
in the past, the organization, this event has helped too. I mean, it's kind of grown, right, Mary?
It has. It was initially started by Paula and Larry Kiker. And when they started it, this would have been the 11th one, so 10 years ago. They did it, and it helped one organization at a time.
Mhm.
In the past, it's been PTO, it's been Friends of Bay Oaks. In 2018, Paula had reached out to the PTO and to the Women's Club about acquiring it, and we knew that it was too big. We were both too small of organizations just to set it up on our own. However, the Women's Club, with a vision to split it up to multiple nonprofits so they each have their own whole, became feasible. We were the sponsoring organization the last 2 years. The Chamber of Commerce 2 years ago was the administrating organization, and Barefoot Events was last year's. And we've been talking about a capital campaign for a couple of years. And one of the things that we decided with our capital campaign is we just need to become more self-sufficient and administrative in our own activities. And so last year, Dawn and I started working on it.
So last year, you guys were taking over the administrative component of it as well?
For this year's event. So
Oh, man, that's, and then
Sorry.
this happens.
We decided that when the Women's Club revamped itself 3.5, 4 years ago, we weren't really clear of what kind of organization we were, and
Mhm.
people around the island were unsure of, are they a party group? Are they just having social events? And so we've got the two main fundraisers, the Christmas Tree Festival, which was a huge success that basically raises money for the nonprofits in the surrounding area who get involved. And then the Putt and Pub is the second large event that we do, where we're the umbrella organization and we work with all the nonprofits who want to be involved, and they get to, the proceeds for the entire day go back to everybody on the island who wanted to be involved. And that's one of the things, I'm just going to bring this up. We really worked on our mission for the whole Women's Club, and it's to support educational and recreational activities for nonprofit and charitable organizations operating in the greater Fort Myers Beach community.
And what are some of those organizations that are typically involved and typically benefit?
Well, it varies each time, but for example, on the Putt and Pub, it was the Women's Club, the PTO, the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation, the Fort Myers Beach Art Association, Fort Myers Beach Lions Club, the Greater Fort Myers Beach Friends of the Arts, Friends of the Fort Myers Beach Library, Friends of Lovers Key, Everglades Wonder Garden, and Turtle Time.
Lots of friends.
Yes.
A lot of friends. This is a friendly.
Thank you,
It's a friendly group. It's a friendly area.
Who's that guy stalking you right there? Is that your husband?
That's a stalker.
Yeah. So I noticed you guys went out to Wisconsin. I don't mean to get off the subject a little bit, but you went out because your son plays for the Badgers, right?
He does play for the Badgers. He's a tight end, 84.
And how did that go in terms of the audience? I'm always interested to get feedback on how the social distancing works in a stadium.
Well, Wisconsin still wouldn't let us in.
No kidding.
Mm-mm. They let the senior parents in to watch the last game, and so we got to watch. Which he hadn't decided yet if he was going to declare for the NFL, and he decided to stay one more year.
He did
at Wisconsin, which we're excited about, and actually he is too. I think he wants to have a regular season with fans in the stands and enjoy it. And this year
Hopefully.
was so discombobulated.
Yeah.
But we did go to the Mayo Bowl, which was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
The Mayo Bowl, like in Mayo.
Duke's Mayo, which
Mayo-
I had never heard of.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
Oh, no, you haven't heard of Duke's?
No, they don't have that up north. And even though down here I'd never
Do
noticed
people
it.
really still use mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave us a huge supply, the kids, and one of them was their, oh shoot, I'm
For
going to
your
forget
hair.
the name.
It's great for your hair.
Yeah, well, I didn't put it in my hair, but they have this other sauce that they went through it in 3 days. The boys loved it. But that stadium, they had friends and family of the team. I think each kid got 6 tickets, but they just piped in music and piped in, people screaming and stuff, and we won. So that was good.
So is he going to make it to the NFL? I mean, is he going to be like a top 10 draft pick? You don't want him to get drafted by the Jets because they're awful.
I'll take it. He'll go anywhere they pay him.
Yeah, true.
Here's what they had told him. He did an NFL evaluation, and they told him this year he would probably be a 6th or 7th round pick. And if he stays 1 more year, he could go anywhere in the first 3 rounds. So
Nice.
It depends on your season and, stay healthy, knock on wood.
Yes.
What kind of what kind of money can you make in the first 3 rounds? That's in the millions, right?
Millions.
That's nice, very nice, cool. What position does he play?
Tight end.
Tight end. Cool.
He was on the island for 14 days. So
Yeah. So he's probably like 6'8" or something, right? I mean, because the tight ends are big.
He's 6'5",
6'5",
250.
250.
Yep.
All right. So
And then my stepson plays for Illinois, and he's a slot receiver.
Oh wow. So Mary, you have any kids in the NFL?
Not yet.
Oh, geez, what the hell?
Do you have
Come
some
on.
in the wings?
What's wrong with you?
Not yet.
Are you grooming some children to go to the NFL?
She might take adoptions.
Yeah, I might take adoptions.
So I want to run down where we're going to be today so everybody knows. In case you're just tuning into this award-winning show, we're the #1 radio show on the beach. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, I did know that we had 2 sponsors for our Putt and Pub.
Yeah?
And Morris DePew, they said, give Kim and Ed a shout out.
Aww.
We love them.
Who said that?
Morris DePew, the company.
Oh, cool.
And then we had Henderson
Wow.
Franklin as well. They were our 2 sponsors.
How do they
which
know?
We can talk about that.
How do they know us?
Bill Morris. He said he's known you.
Oh,
guys for
Bill
years.
Morris. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, Bill.
Hello?
We go back away.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize the name. Sorry, Bill. I didn't recognize the name of the company. So, in addition to the women's club, you guys mentioned. I want to make sure I mention them all. Okay.
You mentioned all the nonprofits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Where we're going to be is at Nervous Nellie's first. Am I blocking your
you're
hair?
blocking my
Your
view.
hair is in.
Yes.
Everyone wants to see your hair. We're going to be giving away Amazon Echo at Nervous Nellie's right at 11 o'clock, and your ass needs to be there because must be. What the hell is Megan wearing?
She's
What is
ready.
that?
She's ready because she
ready
got
for
a
the tutu.
tutu.
What is that thing? Why is
It's
she
a
wearing a
tutu.
tutu? Why?
She's been
Because
waiting all year for this event.
And you wear tutus at the event?
God.
If I'd have known that,
got one
where's your
tomorrow.
tutu?
I boycotted since I couldn't bring my whole team. I boycotted. So
Oh, look at
you'll have
you
to wait
with
to
an
see it next year.
attitude. Why do you have to have an attitude on an important day like this? So, is Tom wearing you tutu just to
I'll let him present himself.
All right. So tutus are allowed at Nervous Nellie's, and then we're going right to Snug Harbor, where they're donating proceeds from the Snug Harbor IPA. Then Yucatan,
which is good.
Then right here back to Pete's Timeout, where we're going to have sliders and grouper bites. That sounds fishy to me. And then Margaritas, where they have buy one, get one. Then La Ola. We're going through all the places, that are rebels because they get violations for the loud music, and people get all pissy with the loud music.
Can't continue.
Oh, sorry. The Salty Crab is next, where they've got $10 rum buckets and a 50-50 raffle. The Mermaid, yes, the Mermaid. That is where you like to hang out with all
I've
your
been there.
smoker friends. We're giving away a 90-minute Fort Myers Tiki tour ride, and they're going to have domestic beers and $3 this and that, and wells and fours and everything over there.
Now
and
you
then,
make it sound like why would you throw that in?
well, because
The
you're allowed to
smoking
smoke
thing.
inside. That's
Well,
the
you
one.
are,
That's
but-
the I like the place, but I can't go inside because it's like walking in. It's a lovely
my
place. I love it
gosh,
there. Are they
it's
going to
not that
survive
bad.
the? They've had like 19 closing parties. Is this another one today? I mean, then Shuckers and Matanzas. So that's a lot of
Shuckers
places.
is donating proceeds from FMB Draft Light Beer back to the Women's Club and to the Putt and Pub.
Oh, cool. I know I forgot something, so I need to read what I forgot. Let's see. I know I was going to forget that. Mid-Island Water Sports, when we come back to Pete's, we have $250 worth of prizes that she mailed me. So we're going to be giving that away.
Oh, look, and the Mermaid, there's a 90-minute Tiki
I
tour
said
giveaway.
that. Were you listening to what I said?
Well, no, I
said
tune
that.
out when you're talking.
Jesus.
Please.
So there's a PayPal account, right, which people can. Oh, there it is, right there. Look, it's magic of technology here. You can donate right there. I don't know if you can click on that, but you can donate at that spot or on our website on the story that we have on our page. There's a lot of people.
How
here
much
today,
has been
dear.
collected so far? Did you mention that?
Mary, drum roll, please.
I think I sent the total last night from your efforts, $1,650.
Nice. Look at that. That's better than a kick in the shins.
1,600.
You people are
And
embarrassing
what's
me.
the goal?
You people are embarrassing me. I just want to
I
say.
think Ed's goal initially was $10,000, but I think that would be in part from your raffles and that type of stuff.
You better bring money today if you're coming. And the way we're going to identify everybody that we have together is you have koozies, Margaritaville koozies.
Koozies.
So that means you'll be getting specials when we go around to all the different places. And, it's a shame that we can't play golf because, I'm an avid golfer. I didn't know that you guys, I don't know if you know, I'm a 72 handicap or something like that. Did you know that?
I know now.
We do.
All right.
The last time we went golfing,
Oh, please! You
the
had to bring it up.
clubs ended up in the retention pond.
I didn't know that.
Going like this.
I didn't know that was against the rules, Patrick.
He flung it like a boomerang, but it didn't come back. It just went in.
You get frustrated at that game when it doesn't go the way you want it to go.
Calming personality. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking, right? Shocking.
The three sports things. I got suspended from roller hockey I didn't really slap the guy that hard. I mean, it was a tap. I thought it was a tap.
Roller hockey.
Yeah, roller hockey.
And 80s are calling you.
yeah.
You should put on the tutu
and
start the disco music.
That was a bummer too, because I really liked it and I was good at that. And then I got suspended, and then I got kicked out of the church basketball league.
That was embarrassing.
You shouldn't call the ref an MFer in a church, or really, you should never call anybody that. It's like storming the Capitol. It's just something you should never do. And then the throwing the golf clubs. Other than that, it's been nothing but a glorious life. Yes. So what else you guys want to talk about? The Christmas Tree Festival, I want to make sure we mention, because you guys had a smashing success with that, right?
How much
we
got raised?
$6,700 for other nonprofits through their trees and wreaths.
Nice.
So that was an increase over last year, which we're happy with. And we still had good attendance.
Yep.
Did how much was the wine tree there again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
How much did the wine tree go for?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
I bet $6,500.
Cut the crap. So did Dan's silly little fishing thing tree go well? Was that okay? What did he get for it? 17, 18 bucks?
I think $22.50.
$22.50. Right. So we're getting hand signals over there. $70. $7.
$700
for the fishing tree. For the wine. Well, that
tree.
makes sense. Yeah. How many bottles of wine were? How many bottles of wine were on that thing? Nice tutu, by the way. Nice tutu. Does Dan have a tutu on today? Also,
there was a lot of wine.
You know what's nice about the Christmas Tree Festival, and as Mary continually reminds me, you weren't even there because you were at a football game. But I'm just saying, people did show up, and they were there, and it was outside. You felt safe. We had live music.
Yeah.
And high tops.
It's amazing outside how it works, right?
Yes.
Don't you think? Never mind. I'll save it for when Patrick comes back on, when Kim's got to go to the restroom, because she's got to go to the restroom at least once during the show.
I'm guessing next year will be even better.
Yeah.
Because the word is getting out, and people are getting excited, and I mean,
and frustrated being locked up.
We had some volunteer guys that put up amazing outdoor lighting for us this year that people were able to see from Estero Boulevard, and so they were like, we didn't even know what was going on over here.
You didn't get a ticket for lights or anything, did you? You were going to ask that? I'm shocked that you were going to ask that. I can't believe how rude that would have been coming from you.
Open, like
there was no structure. No. So there's no structure. There was no reason.
It needs to be a structure. Gotcha. All right. So what else? You got some more paperwork there, Mary?
Yeah, I just, I reached out to the nonprofits and just asked if there was one or two sentences they'd like me to say. And if we have time, I'll just pop it in there. The Community Foundation just said over the past 10 years, they've raised and distributed over $185,000 in support of 30 different organizations in our community. And one thing to be said is that because 2020 has been so weird, that a lot of these nonprofits were just looking for enough to raise enough money, to keep their paperwork current and to just do some of the small things that keeps them active. The Friends of the Library said they provide additional resources and programs that support the library. Proceeds from their sales at the Friends bookstore as well. Sales allow them to fund the library's wish list each year. Everglades Wonder Gardens. Sorry,
was coming.
Everglades Wonder Gardens, who is new. They have a new director.
We had them on the show.
We had them on, yeah.
Was
it was great.
Director?
Jacob?
Yeah, we had Jacob on.
So this will be the first year that they participated in it, but kind of exciting. They will be unveiling 5 new exhibits. More than ever they need their support more than ever to help over 300 animal residents they have. I didn't know they had that many animals.
Yeah.
That was nice. The Art Association, their mission is to teach art, exhibit artwork, and help junior artists. This spring, they are excited to resume their student scholarship show, where they award students college scholarships. Friends of Lovers Key.
You didn't practice this at home, did you?
I've been working on another project. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. What project? Oh, never mind.
Are you? She's doing fantastic.
I'm trying to throw her off.
I've been a busy girl. I've been a busy. Friends of Lovers Key. Debbie Voorhees reached out to me. She goes, "Well, I think I talk enough about. They probably know everything." But what she said, she did say exhibits are being installed next week, and they plan on having a soft opening in March, which I think is very exciting.
Super
for Lovers
Nice.
Key.
Yes.
Friends of the Arts. They've been kind of. They were used to do the concert series, like 6 concerts every year over at the Fishtail Marina. And they have.
What was that?
My ad just flew out the window.
My ad just flew out.
My commercial that I have to read just flew out the window. Go ahead, Mary. I didn't mean to.
He tips big.
I didn't throw you. I didn't throw you for a loop.
So they just talked about their funding mix. Their mission is to promote and support theater, music, culinary, and visual arts on Fort Myers Beach and the surrounding area. Then you have the PTO. Like all PTO of every public school, they do, all their fundraising goes directly back to the school, whether it's to buy electronics or software, books, that type of thing. They said because of the classification that the FMB elementary school is in, they don't get a lot of funding. They don't even have money to pay for a printer toner.
Oh,
so that's pretty significant. Turtle Time. Is an all-volunteer organization. Yeah. They monitor the turtle nest from April 15th through October 31st. We mark each nest to protect it until it has hatched and follow up with birth announcements. So
Have you gone out with Turtle Time?
I haven't.
I would encourage you. They were gracious enough, and I went out with them and dug up a nest to see how many, to count the eggs that had hatched, and it was fascinating. It was really, really cool.
And I did have a conversation with Eve right around the Christmas Tree Festival, and she did say if people are looking to volunteer or get involved with Turtle Time, that they should reach out to her. And I don't have her email memorized.
We can,
yeah. Okay.
It's right on the website too. If you go to turtletime.com, you see, right after you see the turtle.
And the other thing I want to mention, Mary and I were talking when we were walking over here. The Women's Club is. Our meetings are held in the historic Fort Myers Beach Schoolhouse. It's on the south end of the island. And a lot of these nonprofits do not have a hub where they can meet. And it is our goal as time goes on and we start raising money, they can hold their monthly meetings at the clubhouse for free. And that's another way we work together, that we're watching over everybody and make sure everybody's successful.
And Dawn, you're also a member of the Public Safety Committee now. You've been doing it for several months. How do you like it?
Well, we didn't have a meeting this week or this month. I do like it. I do wish. I kind of feel like it's Groundhog Day. I mean, I'll be candid. I'm just waiting for us to actually get something going. And I feel like I did a survey. I sent it in a rough draft the first round. I got it.
What's the survey going to be about?
About safety and then what the residents feel. So then everybody put in their 2 cents. I redid the survey then to send it back to the group. And then I actually did attach your survey.
Thank you.
And said, hey, this is what Beach Talk Radio also found out. We should be looking at these
And
things
Roger
as
tried
well.
to poo-poo it during the meeting just to be official and clear.
Well, I didn't get any of that yet because I did turn it in and then they canceled our meeting. So I'm hoping in the next month or 2 we can get that survey put out on, I don't know how they're going to distribute it. We talked about working with the personal information officer who works for the city now, who I haven't met yet, and go from there. But we've been talking about a lot of things.
I think
lighting everything.
Yeah, I think the number one issue, if I remember right, in our survey, was it crime or homeless?
Yours was homeless.
Yeah. And we do hear more about it. To be honest with you, even outside of Fort Myers Beach, we're starting to see more people on almost like every busy intersection going up Daniels, and like on some of the really busy intersections. Somebody tell the story about what happened.
So one of
we don't need to digress too much.
Treeline in Daniels, there was a gentleman who was using a walker, so he was sitting on like a milk crate. I don't know what happened, but I came up on it, and he had fallen off the crate. And so luckily some nice guys got out of there, put their car in park.
Into the road. He fell into the road.
Yeah. And they were helping him get out. At the very time that they're trying to help this guy get out, the guy in front of me, who had an extremely nice and expensive car with the hood down, has literally $2, two $1 bills that he's holding. you know, and the guy's on the ground.
He's not getting out of the car to help him get up.
No.
He wants to throw. He wants to just, you know.
Can I tell
feel
the
like he
story?
did. Oh, sorry,
So
I wasn't
he
even in the car.
He threw the money into the road, and so now the guy who was, you know, trying to get he's crawling to get the money. Yes, he's
It's
crawling
crazy.
to get the
It's
money,
crazy.
and the other two guys are trying to help him. It was, I have never seen.
Maybe he withdrew the money to see if he was really
disabled.
Oh,
I
that
don't
would've
know,
been a
but
bad trick.
I will say that I have never seen as many folks out there panhandling. I don't know if they're homeless, but they're definitely
It's sad.
panhandling.
You feel
And
bad
there's
for 'em.
on Route 80 when you get off the highway, there's like a cadre of there's like a lot. There's 5 or 6 people and they're taking turns.
It was like that a lot in 2010, 2011.
Yeah, I
remember
think
seeing them.
it's tough. It's tough.
I wonder
Feel
what's
bad
going
for 'em.
on. Like, more people moving down here because it's so nice. Well, we know that for sure. But are
Well,
the
I
homeless moving
think
down?
the
Or are they?
COVID has
the
really
pandemic, they're not making the money. They're just getting
right.
ahead of the
People
game.
are falling off from barely hanging on to not making it, and so I think that's what they're doing.
That's
And
what I was thinking. Like they lost jobs.
they
or-
lost jobs because
All right, we're not going to
go
solve
ahead.
the homeless problem today. I didn't mean
Sorry.
to
I
digress.
agree.
Annie says hello, Mary. I don't know who Annie Larson is.
Well, one of the like we talked about even the bike lanes and
Yeah.
and the lighting on the island. And I mean, I was walking down our street last night and I thought, oh my God, I got to get a light on this street. It's pitch black.
Yeah,
And
the
you-
whole
you
lighting
can
thing
hit
is just
someone.
a
That's going
giant
to take
joke.
a little bit of time.
All right, so today would have been the 11th. So is it going to be the 12th next year, or how are you going to? What are you going to name it?
I was wondering about this. Should we
So-
have like an 11B?
It depends
11
on.
redo.
Listen, if you
yes,
ca-
we're going to have it next year. And like we said, we got sponsors this year for the first time.
Which was really a game changer
Yeah.
for the participants,
It is.
the nonprofits.
And we, because of COVID, we did start a little later because people didn't know, should we do it? The nonprofits were in a quandary. So the bars didn't know what their rules were going to be. We're going to start earlier next year. We're going to get more sponsors so that this event becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's our goal at some point that nonprofits can make a substantial amount at these two events to help supplement their fundraising needs.
So
throughout the year.
you jackballs out there better not make me look bad. I mean, $2,000. Come on, you people, come on. We got to do much better than that. And the thing that I don't want to get political, and you guys can just ignore me. But the thing that, like she does every night of the week, but come on, cut it out. I need to make a point. The thing that bugged me the most was, okay, I understand about not being inside with a group and things like that, and maybe the hole in the right of way was a bad idea. So is there not a way that the town, knowing how much money is raised for this, could have said, okay, don't do this hole there, don't do that hole there because it's in the right of way, and then you don't need a permit and you can still do your event, but I'll just turn the other way. I mean, then they don't you don't need the town. And that's the thing that bugged me the most. It's like, I get it. The emergency declaration says nobody's allowed to have a permit. That's what it says. Yeah, it's not like you're doing a farmer's market or anything, but I'm just saying nobody's allowed to have a permit according to the emergency declaration. So you think that somebody could have freaking helped out and said an ass wipe like me's got to help out, and you're not going to get anything near what you would have got if somebody real helped.
I don't think that we can make assumptions for everything that happened within the town. I think we have to proceed the best way we can as the Women's Club, and how we can continue to hold future fundraisers and consistently be supportive to the other nonprofits on the island.
Yeah, they're not looking back. They're moving forward.
All righty. You're going to run for office, Mary.
Let's
I can
just
tell
move
just by the
forward.
way you
I
answered
swear
that
too
phrase.
swear too
You
much.
do? That'd be perfect. I mean, look at it. Never mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the pub crawl without the putts. Well, with one putts is happening today at 11
Glad you
o'clock.
said it.
Starting at Nervous Nelly's, and bring your money and bring your A game and your happy face, because we got to lift Kim's spirits up because she's always such a downer on this show.
Well,
So,
look what I'm saddled with.
And then we'll be taking off from there. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for
Anything
having
that we
us.
can
Thank
do,
you.
we'll happily do it. And you can just call my secretary here, and we'll set up a time to meet. And
Good luck
just
tonight.
kidding. All right, everybody. 11 o'clock at Nervous Nelly's. How about a big hand for the folks from the Women's Club? Megan, come over and show everybody your tutu. Everybody's got to see this tutu before we bust out of here. And I have to
Can
read
you
my.
do the reverse camera? She said.
You don't want to
so
show
that
your
you can
tutu?
see it?
I'm going to show it on the camera. I got a camera right here. All right, I won't do it to you. I know you have a very important husband, so I'm not going to do that and get myself in trouble. All right, everybody, don't forget Island Oils LLC, because
you're going to get
you're
above the decibel
noise
rating.
violation when you're when you're reading the ads, dear. You have to put some life into it. You have to really put a little oomph into it. You have to ad-lib it, and you have to really make people feel like, yeah, I need that right now, because if I have a bug on me, instead of going like that, you want to spray the spray on you.
Now you can get in trouble
and you
for that.
And you want to get rid of those bugs, kill the bugs.
Don't mess up my hair.
I'm reading the wrong one. That's not it.
I'm going to let you sit there now, Mr. Sassafras.
Island Oils LLC, 100% oil. 100%.
You know so much. You know
Come
so
on.
much. Go.
You spray it under your arms. You can spray it on your body. You can spray it on your, like, if you have man boobs like Steve Duello had. Steve sent a picture that was very frightening to some of us. He needs to do more push-ups and more burpees.
What's it made of?
It's made of 100% deep-free oils and water.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I've been reading for 20 weeks. All righty. And it's made from high-performance essential oils.
There's
none
no
of that
water
shit you
in
get
it.
at the CVS or
water.
something like that. It's
There's
safe.
no water.
It's safe for children 6 months and older. And the last thing you want, as I've been trying to explain to you, the last thing you want is to be sitting out in the back when you're watching the NFL games.
Well, you're not watching them.
And the bugs are climbing on you, and the bugs are getting up your nose and in your ears. Just spray that stuff right in your ears, man, and it is gone. And it
Don't do
smells
that.
yummalicious, too. It smells fantabulous. Island Oils LLC, don'titchit.com, and we appreciate all those guys being
They
part.
have the spray and the roll-on.
The spray and the roll-on.
Yep.
So where do you roll it on?
Well, the roll-on, I think, is more if you don't use the spray and you get a little bite, that'll take care of it.
Now, I want to get back to what I just said. Now, Steve, you asked for that by what you posted to send to us, which was frightening. I'm never going to get that picture out of my mind. Just be happy I didn't put it on our Facebook
And thank
page.
you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, I showed it to my wife, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, he must have stopped doing his burpees."
I did not say that. Don't believe him, Steve.
You can join us along the way anywhere at these 10 locations. And we start at Nervous Nellie's
Yes, and you can call Ed and see where they're at.
That's right. If you want to call, it's 239-209
247 3833.
3833.
You know, the gym has your wrong phone number, and I almost couldn't get in the other day.
The gym has my wrong phone
Yep,
number?
they have 3832.
Well, one of the things I like to do is give out my wrong phone number, because I don't want people calling me.
You know, I tried to do that when you and I met, and you still found me out.
So before we say
Ba-boom.
goodbye, did you want to talk about anything about your life? Is anything that you want to share with the 9 people that have been watching all day today?
Get down.
All right, everybody. We did have a lot to talk about. I have a whole list of it here, but we probably need a break before. Well, if you want to hear my stories, you can start with us at 11 o'clock. Oh, I was going to tell everybody where we're going to be. We're going to be at Nervous Nellie's at first, and then we're going to Snug Harbor, Yucatan. You know what? I hate to say this. I've never been to Yucatan.
Well, now today that you'll change that.
I've never been to Yucatan, so that'll be my...
I have.
You have?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I went one time with the women's group, like a long, long time ago. It was one of the first things I did down here.
Is that where you met Anita?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How was her hair at the time?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
All right. And then
it always is great.
Yes. Then we're coming to Peach Time Out, Margaritas, La Ola, Salty Crab, Mermaid, Shuckers, and Matanzas. We have a bunch of prizes to give away along the way.
You have to be there.
You have to be there to win the prizes. You can't be caller number 3 on my cell phone now that you gave it away.
Nope.
And what was the other thing? Oh, and every place is going to have specials. So when we get to Nervous Nellie's, we're going to hand you a koozie, a Margaritaville koozie. Yes, you can keep it. And then we're just going to...
And that's like your ticket. That identifies you as a very special person.
Right. And we're going to have 50-50 raffle kind of things. And, next week, I wanted to make sure I let everybody know. Next week, we have a Ned Bruja. Do you know who Ned is?
No.
Ned
but I
is
like
the
that name.
wildlife whisperer. Yes, this is going to be
this is right up my alley.
Right, unlike our first guest today, where you really didn't participate much, you were just kind of stuck in the middle. You're going to be. He was introduced to us by the Dolphin Fairy.
Oh.
The fairy dolphin mother.
Fairy pod
the
mother.
Fairy pod mother. And
listen, back to what you say, though. I mean, it would be nice to throw in a couple of things that are positive and productive about the town council. It just can't always be
right.
so one-sided. There are good things that get done.
Go ahead. List them off.
Oh, shut up. Now I knew you were going to put me in that position. They've done a lot of good things.
Well, go ahead. What are your top 3?
I'm just saying.
I'm asking you to go ahead. I'm saying you're right. 100% right. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I think that there's some things that they've tried to tackle. And
are we talking about tried or are we talking about done? Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
The carpet has been pulled out in front of them.
Number 2. Number 3.
Like
number 1.
Trying to get the glyphosate thing gone, and that they couldn't do it.
Well,
I know because they were preempted.
They weren't preempted. The law says you couldn't do it.
They were preempted by the state.
I'm not saying they haven't done anything. I'm not.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead and go.
They've got
number 1, number 2. We'll start with number 3 and go backwards.
Listen, if I was prepared, you would.
You brought it up.
I'm just saying that in general, it's not. You want to be balanced.
I understand. That's why you're the balance. Go right ahead. 1, Mississippi. 2, Mississippi. In addition to
Dear, I don't do all the politics like you do.
No, I love the committees. I think the committees.
So is there anything you could say?
I love
since
the committees.
You're the ruler of everything?
I think the committees. I'm not the ruler.
No, not the committees, the town council.
Great job. I think the committees do a great job. Yeah, they do the recognitions and awards and recognitions at the beginning of every meeting, and I think that's fabulous. No, they the roads getting done.
The nuisance abatements board, none of that stuff.
It's not set yet. I checked to see if that was set. The road is coming along nice. They're part of the road project. That's coming along nice. I'm kidding. I know they're doing. We'll make a list for next week's meeting. And we also have Jim Steele next week, everybody. You know who Jim Steele is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do? You have no idea, do you?
He's on TV.
He's not on TV. Who's that? That's Drew Steele, and he's on the radio, goofball. No, Jim Steele is, he sat in as the town manager at one point, and he's Jim Adderholt's uncle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the nice gentleman, the voice guy out there, the volunteer sheriff guy.
Okay.
He's
all right, everybody.
the beat.
So we're going to be at Nervous Nelly soon. I'd like to know what your feedback is. I'm going to leave the live feed up without the sound just to get a feedback on the background here.
You better fold it correctly because I'm not ironing it again.
I know, she ironed this feed. This is a green screen. Obviously, you guys know that, so we could just show you that. But give us some feedback on that, or if we should go. It's getting windy out here, dear. If we should just go back to the fire extinguisher.
The storm has yet to come.
Is this going to be stormy?
There it is.
Oh. Well, we were supposed to go out fishing tomorrow.
Not the weather.
By the way,
not the weather. The weather is going to be fine.
What are you
but
talking
the storm that's coming on you
here we go again.
is going to be epic.
Every single after show. By the way, that right there, that is the PayPal account that you can click on right now and donate. Don't make me look bad, people. I mean, my wife does that every week. I don't need you people out there also making me look bad. Donate $10 if you can. It's one click and donate. You're just sitting at home watching your TV or Facebook or whatever it is you're watching this on. You can make a donation by just clicking on that. Does it work if you click on it? I don't know. Just copy and paste it. Let us know what you think of the background, and we'll see you at Nervous Nelly's. This is my lovely wife, Kimberly Rose Ryan, and she will be back once again next week for another episode of Beach Talk Radio Light. Bye-bye.